Okay, it's finally here. The film that's gonna save the DCU and save comic book heroes in the movies. More is riding on this for James Gunn than P. Diddy getting a corrupt judge and jury. He could, as he explained, crack the code of Superman, as if it was some kind of enigma machine and he was Alan Turing. Let's find out if he pulled it off. After some glorious forays into the comic book universe that brought him into notoriety, such as Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, and Super, the hobbling DCU decided they had found their man. None other than the controversial yet surprisingly talented James Gunn, at least according to him. Tasked with single-handedly making superhero films relevant again, he decided to start with the most popular character of them all, Superman. This wouldn't be Richard Donner's Superman or even Zack Snyder's Superman. In fact, James Gunn's Superman was ripped from several comics and Frankenstein together with James Gunn's own take. I really feel that was too much for anyone to accomplish. It would define him, and he would have to please way too many groups of people. Comic book fans, Snyderverse fans, normies, and all of the rest. First, for the positives. The look and feel of the film is fantastic. It's bright and hopeful. The cast is brilliant. David Corenswet is sincere and looks the part. Rachel Brosnahan shares great chemistry with a man in blue tights and is never overbearing or girl bossy. Her more tense conversations come from a genuine good place, and she seems like a character that is trying to evolve into a good person and partner. At least that's what I'm gonna say, so I don't start a fight with my girlfriend. Nick Holt is an inspired choice, and he does the best with the dialogue he's given, walking the line between madman and genius. I'm not too happy about the whole social media kingpin thing though. Eddie Gattacci as Mr. Terrific is fantastic. He's kind of like Jules in Pulp Fiction. He don't take no shit. It would have been nice if Superman had as much agency as he did. So for the missteps, and don't worry, I'm gonna keep it relatively spoiler-free. It's definitely a departure from all the iterations of Superman that people have loved throughout the years, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's how they execute it. My biggest criticism is that James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn lacks confidence, agency, and he just reacts to things. He seems all flaws. He's kind of mocked for being a goody two-shoes. He's constantly being saved and never really feels like an epic hero or even in the process of evolving into that role. He's basically a big pussy. For me, if you get the character down of Superman, well, you got your movie. And they dropped the ball bigger than Leon Lett of the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl 27. All you sports fans out there know what I'm talking about. And what's his real power level? It's never really defined. You have nothing to base it on. He hasn't won any battles on screen, and you don't get the sense that he has that Superman trademark invincibility. Next is a story. It feels like a sequel to a movie that James Gunn wrote in his head and expected that we already watched. And we got 3 years of badass battles and character development in like 1 or 2 minutes of on-screen text. That's the laziest way to do things in filmmaking. Yeah, Gunn, don't make me read the story that you were too lazy to film. Also, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner is mostly wasted, and that's a damn shame. Rounding off the Justice Gang is Haktua Girl, and she's mostly meh. They don't define her character, they don't really give her good dialogue, she's just filling screen time. And I got a sense that she was the obligatory female superhero. I'm not even going to go into what I thought about Superman's parents, because quite frankly, Gunn didn't give a shit about them. Okay, to the execution. Many of the ideas were good and had merit, but I feel like Gunn was trying to do way too much. He fell into the same trap that Snyder did with Batman v Superman. He needed to save the DCU, introduce Superman, introduce no less than 8 metahumans, give us a reason to give a shit about them, give us a compelling story, and my biggest question is, why? Why, James Gunn? Why the need to do all this? James Gunn just gave himself too many self-imposed goals in the first outing. All this had to be about is Superman. That's all. He said he finally cracked this code with Superman. Well, silly man, the code was cracked in 1939 when he appeared in Action comic books. He's a noble and just epic character that had been imbued with a passion for truth, justice, and the American way. That's your template. He doesn't have to crack some code. And apparently, he cracked the code using Crypto. No, not that Crypto, the dog. And honestly, Crypto wasn't a big deal. I didn't know if they were gonna overuse him, and a dog with a little red cape is kinda silly. But it mostly worked, and he was fun. But back to the Superman template, I don't understand why he doesn't see why these things are important to people, especially in these divisive times, when people are lost and seeking meaning. What is it to speak the truth? What's real justice? And what does America stand for? James Gunn tiptoed around these issues in order not to offend, and that was a missed opportunity. I mean, $1 billion doesn't make itself. I know that comparing this film to a young boy's first glimpse at a hero almost 50 years ago is going to be difficult to measure up. But as Jules Winfield more eloquently put it,
ain't the same fucking ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same fucking sport.
I wanted to like the movie. I really did. But I'm basically giving it 2 out of 5 reels. And although it's not a bad movie, even eking out some fun and exciting moments, it might well be the final nail in the coffin of the superhero genre. Well, some people really enjoyed it and had a great time in the theater. So let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you like the direction that DC's going, and as always, keep watching movies.